We're in the middle of the
You
preseason.
look doo-doo in the first preseason game. Trent Murphy's hurt.
No. I want to hear the good one. I want to be fired up.
Trent Murphy wasn't even going to play the first 4 games. And he's off the juice, so you weren't going to get the production you had from last year.
Probably true. Coach Jay Gruden confirmed that Trent Murphy is out for the season with a torn ACL. I believe ACL and MCL. Jay said it's unfortunate, just the wrong place at the wrong time. Great play by Zach Brown. He knocked their fullback right into Trent's knee, and it was really unavoidable, unfortunately. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Of course, as JP mentioned, Trent was going to miss the first 4 games anyway from the PED suspension. They have more depth there at linebacker this year than they have in recent years. There were 2 injury concerns that they were really worried about after that first preseason game against the Ravens, and it was Trent and Sua Cravens. And I know I said all along, I think most people agreed, that Cravens was the one that was really, really worrisome because they don't have that kind of depth there at safety. And fortunately, the MRI on Sua Cravens had better news. There was no structural damage to the knee, much like Bryce Harper's. They said there was just some swelling in there. They're going to keep a close eye on it, go day by day, and he can't practice here soon enough.
Timeline's 2 to 3 weeks, I believe, for Sua Cravens.
So good news there. Jay also said that draft picks corner Fabian Moreau, who's picked in the 3rd round, and safety Monte Nicholson would be full participants in practice for the first time this season. So that's good.
When you look at the depth chart at outside linebacker, okay, scratch Trent Murphy out for 16 games, not just 4 games. So you have Kerrigan and Preston Smith as the supposed starters. We know Kerrigan's going to be a starter. Preston Smith, that might be up for grabs. And then behind them, it's Anderson, the 2nd-round draft pick from Alabama, and Gillette.
I think it really helps Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, it throws the door wide open for him.
Going to give him a lot more reps.
And they're very high on him so far.
Well, they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he slipped to him. They were delighted to get him where they could. And I think they were just working him in there kind of slowly. He was going to get his reps no matter what. The other guy I think that really impressed in that first preseason game was a guy who made All-NFL last year, and that's Zach Brown.
Right.
And I think they're going to find a way to get him on the field a hell of a lot more than necessarily being listed 2nd on the depth chart.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the Trent Murphy loss. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067, you can call us on the Hadid Carpet Cleaning listener lines as we hit the skins. Just because, to me, he was a luxury. Now, maybe he's better against the run than some of the other guys. But, and I'm throwing this out there, he did have his career season, and then he gets popped for PEDs. Now, he says it was a supplement, whatever. To me, the guy who they asked a bunch of weight, remember they were going to move him to the offensive line? He gained that weight, maybe lost the weight. My guess is he probably did something legit, and that something helped him. Much like baseball players, when they started hitting 50 and 60 home runs, turns out they were on roids, and people would try and make the argument, well, you still have to have the right swing. No, the roids made them stronger. They hit more home runs. The roids helped Trent Murphy, would be my guess, and helped him have his career year. And once he's off it, because he's going to be tested more often, he probably wouldn't have had that type of year
What
again.
did he test positive for? No, it was a performance-enhancing drug. Was it actually a steroid, or was it growth hormone? Was it an elevated testosterone level? What was it?
I can't remember. I just never believe what they say, and for some reason I believe he was one of those guys who claimed tainted supplement.
Well, I will say this. The supplements are unregulated, and there could be anything in them. And it's been proven many, many times.
You can't take them unless you know everything that's in them.
He gained like 20 pounds of muscle.
No, I understand. And I would, if you put a gun to my head, I would say he probably took something knowingly. But I can also tell you that the tainted supplement thing is real.
Sure.
Jay Gruden said that Ryan Anderson, though, may be able to go. I'm not sure. Smith also recovering from a sprained ankle. And, of course, remember, we found out right before the game, the day of the game, that Junior Gillette has a hamstring injury that's going to keep him out, according to Jay, 6 or 7 days. So they actually are a little thin right now for this Packer game. Lyndon Trail is banged up. So really, Ryan Kerrigan is the only healthy outside linebacker right now. So the Murphy injury definitely is having an impact on the roster. But again, we're still early. They wrapped up their training sessions in Richmond, I guess already, Cakes. training camp is officially over.
It's in the books.
They're back at Redskins Park. I believe they had, how many? Did they have 23 training sessions in Richmond? Something like that. Let me see. Mike Jones had some takeaways from the final practice of training camp. And as much as I tease about I'm over Samaje Perine already because
after one preseason game.
Well, it wasn't the preseason game per se. It was just you keep reading that he's struggling in pass protection and he's putting the ball on the carpet. That's not good. But he's bursting, and so that's good. I'm not completely giving up on the kid. I'm sure he'll have an impact. Those are two big things. If you can't hold on to the football and you can't pass protect, I don't know how you can play that kid a lot.
Definitely get you in Jay Gruden's doghouse if you start fumbling all over the place.